Well, here we are at our first ever international Behind the Glass Live. Everyone in the room, give yourself a round of applause.
Yeah.
This is mad. This is mad. This is very exciting for us.
It's very American.
Yeah. Woo! USA. But no, genuinely, we are so thrilled to be here and so excited. It's Tony's first time in America, which we're going to be talking a lot about today's episode. But for us, it's exciting to do one of these events outside of the UK, meet new people, meet different people, and people from a different car scene, a different car world, and find out about what it's like to be a petrol head or a car guy or girl here in the US of A. For those of you watching or listening, you're finding us in the incredible Myers Manx Cafe. This is inside the Peterson Museum, which is an amazing automotive museum here in Los Angeles. If you are from here or if you are visiting, firstly, I recommend checking out the museum, but also 100% stopping off here, not only for a great coffee. Can we just talk about the breakfast burrito for 2 seconds?
Well, I have dropped you in it a little bit because I told quite a lot of people in the car park to have one, so I'm so sorry.
Yeah, why have you dropped me in it?
Well, because you've mentioned it again.
Yeah, it's because it sounds like we're trying to sell breakfast burritos.
Yeah,
but we just absolutely love them, and actually, food is something that we've fallen in love with whilst we've been here.
As you can see,
we're going full bore. But yes, anyway, we've done a bit of a preamble, so most of the people in the room know how these shows work. And actually, I think we've done enough of these live events now that I think most people kind of know the format.
How many have we done?
I don't know, 7 or 8 maybe. Maybe more than that.
No,
maybe
we've done
10.
7 or 8 last year. This year.
Yeah, maybe we've done about 10 of them. Anyway, so they're great fun and we really enjoy them. But worryingly for all of you, they start with the Rate My Ride section.
Morning, everyone.
And Tony's been frothing at the mouth all week at the prospects of, well, what this event will be like and the cars that might turn up. Oh, I can't wait to see some of the crap that's coming. And we have whipped around and we are just going to dive straight in because actually, I think we've both been really surprised.
Pleasantly as well.
Pleasantly surprised by the cars that are here. So let's dig them out and we'll have a little chat about what you've all decided to bring this morning. So, kicking things off, did anyone actually drive this here as this part of the museum? The new Toyota GR86?
Yes.
Look at you. Well done, sir. How long have you had that?
2 days.
2 days.
You bought it for this event?
I'm from Ohio. It's on Turo.
Okay, it's on Churro from Ohio. We're big fans of Churro, yeah. But that's cool that that's already on Churro.
Yeah.
So for those of you watching or listening who don't know what Churro is, it's like the Airbnb of car rental. Individual owners, but also businesses can put their cars on there. And it's a great way actually to get into cool cars for like a fairly good price. And that's a cool, well, you've done well. It's a good car to bring to this event. How is it in general?
We're going to find out later today.
You're going to find out later today.
Throw it around yet.
Okay.
Are you going in the canyon?
Yes.
Big crash or you're all right?
We're going to find out, yeah. Later on the news today, a guy died in the crash. Well, super nice. Well done. Good choice for bringing that. Next to it, super nice. Hold on. Wait for this. You don't know about this.
Oh.
Miata.
No idea.
MX-5. Who bought the Miata? There, black Miata. There's a few. So hold on. This is a black new shape Miata. Very, very nice. We're big fans of these.
I love the MX-5, mate.
In general, we went to the Angeles Crest yesterday and there were 3 of them at the top, parked under the Newcomb's Ranch sign, and we were like, lads, what absolute heroes. They're out on a cruise all together.
Yeah.
How long have you had that car, sir?
A few months.
3 months. You must be enjoying that a lot, huh?
How much are they in USA? As in...
At the door, like 40.
$40,000?
That's brand new though, huh?
That's with like taxes and everything.
Taxes.
Oh, that's all right then. Flipping out. $40,000.
But this is something that we've discovered here. Your car prices are insane.
You've all got too much money in America, man. Like, genuinely.
He's been seeing money bags in his eyes. Everywhere we go, going, everyone is so rich. We should move here and make lots of money.
Yeah.
That is actually quite unbelievable. How much is a new Miata in the UK?
30 grand. Pounds.
It's not that big a difference, mate, when it's priced
What,
correctly.
10?
No, but it's not. $40,000 is about £32,000-33,000.
I bet it's not. I bet it's 37,000.
You've been thinking this all week. I'm going to correct you right now. Live on the podcast. We're now a Forex podcast. Foreign exchange, $40,000, £33,000.
Well, it's still more money, mate.
Well, it's only $3,000 more. You did well. Don't let him give you a hard time. Very, very nice car. Moving on, it's the second Miata, which is the green, I'm assuming. Green, is it got a beige roof? That is super cool. That's right up my street. See, no offense, thank you for coming, glad you're here, prefer the OG shapes. I think it's softer and prettier.
Yeah, but you just like old and worse, mate, in general. Like, in life. Like, look at the way you dress. Like, they've been
What are you
passed
wearing
down-
today?
Yeah, but they've
a
been
Boss shirt from 16 years ago.
No, that's been passed down from generations, mate. That was probably your great-granddad.
He was a cool guy. But yeah, I have to say, this is really nice. And it's like a pure driving pleasure. And in this world where everyone tells us doom and gloom is coming, we're all going into recession, Putin's going to nuke us, well, you know, simple driving pleasures like this, actually, I think are becoming more and more appealing.
But the new one's pure driving pleasure as well, right? Yeah. So what's
yeah,
your
but
problem?
not as pure. Yeah. No, very, very nice. Thank you again for bringing it. An S3 saloon, slightly modified, black. Have I got
That's
that
not
right?
an S3.
S5.
No.
Thank you. I promise I do know about cars.
Yeah, it's an S3.
It is an S3? Don't make me
So
question myself.
So you really like Audi, yeah? So why have you got a Merc hat on?
Because I'm a Lewis fan.
Lewis fan. It wasn't a great qualifying for us today. No,
I bet he wish he was driving an Audi today.
But hold on a
in
sec,
that
so
old
why
Merc.
did you make me judge that? You know why I questioned that? Was it's the orange side repeaters on the side.
Yeah, it looks like an A4.
Well, it looks like an A4 or
Yeah.
an A5. But that's super nice. What are those wheels that you put those wheels on?
They're NKRPF1s.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means.
Roughly, that translated, that means terrible.
Well, I think it looks cool. You've got tints on it that make me think that maybe you're Brad Pitt. I mean, those are the darkest tints I've ever... Is that a thing here? Does everyone
Yeah.
love a really dark tint?
It's not illegal.
People are nodding.
It's,
Oh,
it is.
You jokers. I think it's cool. I used to have an S3, but the hatchback shape in the UK years ago, previous generation to that. I mean, it's a good car.
Yeah.
Is that just your daily? Is your cruise around? Yeah, it does everything.
It's my daily, and now I have my suspension set up so I can take it to like the mountains and stuff.
Okay, he's done his suspension. He's a
So
proper
you've made
driver,
it.
this
So
guy.
you made it worse. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, we didn't know what this was, but do you now know?
No. No.
Okay,
idea.
this is a Volkswagen GLI big. Oh, the man sitting next to you.
What is it?
I don't think we get these. What is it?
It's a what's it called GTI, just extended. So it's not an egg anymore. They just dragged it out, and yeah.
So it's a saloon Volkswagen GTI, basically, right?
Okay, but based on what, like a golf platform or something bigger?
Yeah, yeah.
MQB, so S3, RS3, it's the same chassis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh wow.
We just don't get them in our
We just don't
country.
get. I've never seen it. We were like, what?
Yeah.
Do you love it?
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Big turbo, so
Sounds good.
occasionally.
Occasionally, okay.
What did you say? You put a big turbo on it.
Yeah. So it has the S3 turbo, so I guess it's hybrid, whatever you want to call it. Makes about 415, 420 with weighs 2,800 pounds.
What horsepower is under the hood?
415, he said.
415.
Well-
It's more than your 360.
But it's not about horsepower, it's about emotion.
No, it's about horsepower. So that car is faster than your car.
Oh, calm down, mate. There's plenty of cars here faster than your car, too.
I haven't got a car.
Well, very nice. Thank you for bringing it, because it's something new that we hadn't seen before. A big old black A4 wagon. Yes, you there with the Red Bull hat. You're going to fight with the man on the bench in a second.
Let me see that.
Look at this. And you've got huge, what are those wheels? What are those wheels on there? What wheels have you got on there?
CSW backers.
Again, I don't know what that means, but they look amazing. Like, that's a real beast. But is it just a standard A4? Is it not an S or
A4, it's got like full bolt on, it's big turbo.
big turbo on there as well? They like a big turbo.
Does your dad know you've bring his car?
He can't understand you.
Does your dad know you've brung his car?
No.
Right.
Come today.
He didn't want to go.
No.
Moving on. Well, thank you for bringing it. It's a mean machine, that. Again, with tints. Well, actually, no, your tints are not that bad. Yeah, your tints aren't that bad.
You can see out of them ones.
You can see out of them ones. Moving on, the first of two Alfa Romeo 4Cs, silver with gold wheels.
Flip it.
Well done, sir. Well done. Is that a popular car here? No. So do people go like, wow, what's that?
I've probably seen about 4 or 5.
You seen about? Where are you from, sir?
I'm from Bedford.
Are you from Bedford?
Yeah.
Oh. We wanted to meet some Americans. But no, thank you for coming. Do you live here permanently?
Yeah, I live in Orange County.
Well, he
You
ain't just come for the podcast.
Well,
has he?
I would have been like, that's amazing. But this is super cool. So you live in Orange County and you drive around in a 4C. You are living your best life.
Is he?
Well, that's why we...
Joking.
That's... What do you mean?
Well, the fact that you've only seen 4, it's not a popular car, is it?
But it's a great car still.
You didn't like your one.
No, I didn't
You crashed your one into a van.
I think a van crashed into my... Don't start trying to spin some weird narrative. You must still really enjoy it, right?
Yeah, it's so much fun.
On the roads here, can it still tramline a bit?
On the way here on the 405, I was fighting the
Yeah,
whole way.
it's trying to stay alive. Because if you don't know, 4C's tram, it's terrifying. And the roads here with the craters that you have in LA roads, I would be nervous.
That's the Escalades that create them craters.
Oh, Escalades.
Yeah.
It's also on Spaces, so
It's on Spaces.
it's like way worse.
It's even worse, but it looks great. Yeah, it looks amazing on Instagram. Awful to drive. Yeah, for super cool. And you've got the tow hook in, ready for something disastrous to happen. Very nice.
Because you can't lift the bonnet.
Yeah, no, you can't.
You can't do anything.
Boxster, nice white Boxster. Thank you, sir. We're big fans. We've been talking a lot about Boxsters recently. You must love that car, huh?
Probably the best car I've ever owned.
Yeah, best car you'll ever own. Well, I hope for your sake that you can own other cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a very good car.
Yeah.
We keep saying, a bit of, like with the Miata or the MX-5, this is another entry-level sports car. I mean, it's not cheap, but another one that gives you a lot of pleasure.
Yeah.
That's not the first gen, is it? Or is that the first one you got here in the US? Did you get the Egg Light Boxster?
No, that's 987.2.
987.2, okay, the slight facelift one. Super nice. They must
Is it a
sound-
manual or PDK? It's a manual one. Because that's when they introduced the PDK gearbox, wasn't it? You didn't want that?
Good man. Yeah, pro driver over there. He knows what he's doing. You wouldn't be able to keep up with him in the canyons.
No chance.
No chance. Next, we've got an Acura, for international viewers, Honda.
Is that a Honda Accord? In our
maybe.
country?
It's a TL Type S.
Whose car's that?
Friend of the back. We're having a long conversation with this man in the car park.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. It is low. You did say, and on inspection, do you get tire rub? No. I think you're lying. I mean, it's great. I mean, and you've gone for the tints and the black paint and the black wheels and the black badges. I mean, there's not a line of reflective chrome anywhere.
It looks like you've tinted the windscreen as well. I mean...
Have you done that? No.
No, I didn't do that.
I don't want to go that far, you know. So, yeah, do you know what the European equivalent is?
It's the Accord, right?
I don't think you guys have the type is.
It's the Accord?
No, it's not Accord.
No?
not.
No, it's not Accord. It has a similar engine, but it's not.
Okay, so but this is the Type S. Is there a Type R version as well? Or? No.
Type R usually reserved for the Honda Civic and the auto.
Okay.
Have you modified that car apart from suspension?
Visually?
As in engine power?
No engine power.
So it's still 100 horsepower or whatever they are.
That's pretty nice, man. I ain't gonna lie.
It's very cool. Thank you for bringing it. It was great to see. Now, this is a bit outrageous.
Oh, no.
Who came in a GT4 RS? Who was that? Look at you, sir. Well, I mean, bravo. That is, how long? You must have had that car not too long, huh?
Just over a month.
Just over a month. Okay, so let's get into this a bit. Forgive us all, everyone. How are you finding it? Be completely honest. How are you finding it?
I love it.
You love it? What did you have before?
I have 3 GT4s.
3 GT4s. Okay, so you really like a GT4. And how does this differ to a standard GT4?
It's so much more responsive. Now, I mean, you change the engine and the suspension. It's just completely different. The gearing being so short. You can drive this thing incredibly slow and fun.
Okay.
Or you can take it out.
So you find it more engaging to drive than a standard GT4?
Even with the PDK.
Okay, sure. Hey, look, I'm not a PDK hater, but when there's the option, I'll often lean the other way. It's not too stiff on the roads here?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Have you driven like a GT3 RS or GT3? No, okay. It'd be interesting how that compares. I mean, firstly, can I just say, I love the white, actually. I think the white with the black wheels works super, super well. I don't know why, it just didn't touch us, that car,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. And maybe we're overexposed or whatever, or maybe it was a lot of hype. Obviously, journalists, Porsche community, it's the car we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
You're the first person I've met who's actually bought one and is living one. So I sort of take your opinion much
Have you
more
been up
than
in the
ours.
canyons in it?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good up there, right? Yeah, I'm sure
Will you
it's
do
good up
track
there.
days? Will you take it out on track? Next Sunday, okay.
Flat out? Flat out?
Will you be going very fast?
Good
Always,
boy.
Yeah. I'm acting like your translator today.
You
We
do
had
that in the UK.
We went to Starbucks on our first day here, and we put up at the window, and he was already amazed at a drive-through. Like, we don't have them in the UK. And the woman said, what can I offer you, sir? He went, I have a tall lie. And you can imagine she was like, sorry? Tall lie, love.
And then you tried to speak American to her. She
went-
didn't understand you either.
I went, I'll have a tall latte. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's move on before my dodgy American accent gets worse. Well, thank you for bringing it. Very, very impressive, very cool, and great to hear an owner's opinion. Now, arguably the second best car here today, Carrera T.
Oh.
Hand up, Carrera T, man. Where are you?
It's my wife's car.
It's your wife's car. Even better. Why is your wife not here?
She doesn't want to talk about it.
She doesn't want to talk.
Is she here, your wife? she's there.
Oh, she's
Hello.
hiding. That's the best car here. You should be talking about it. It's amazing.
Oh, you sleaze bag, man.
I'm not a sleaze bag.
Yeah,
I'm
you
complimenting
are.
her car. Don't worry, you're in perfectly safe hands. It's beautiful. So what do you drive then?
The blue Cayman.
That's next to it. We'll come on to you in a second. Carrera T is lovely. Is it PDK or manual? I'm not going to look at you in the eye. You can just call it out.
PDK, the only drawback was not having rear axle steering. The car is amazing, but we don't have the rear axle steering. We were searching for 6 months for that car. So.
To be really nerdy, and we've just talked in 10 minutes about GT4 RS. Now let's talk about Carrera T. Welcome to the Porsche podcast, people. It's so hard to find a rear axle steer car, even in the UK. A manual, light glass, rear axle steer, no sunroof. Got the bucket seats or the comfort seats?
It's got
The regular sports seats. Yeah, I mean, but it's still, to find all to come together is so hard to do. So you have to compromise somewhere, because basically no one understood that car on day one, and everyone, Carrera T, I'll get a sunroof and 4 seats and a PDK.
Oh, falling asleep over here. Flipping hell.
Well, anyway, it was exciting. So thank you. You're still hiding in the back there, but thank you for bringing it. We'll move on now to your Cayman. There you go. Have you seen that? It's Cayman S? Cayman S. Super nice. I love that color.
Is that the
blue.
2.5? Is that the flat 4?
4-cylinder.
The 4-cylinder.
So I actually, for the road, well, it doesn't sound as good, but for the road, I think that's a better car than the 4 litre to drive on the road.
Disagree. I'm so sorry.
She's not stock, so.
She's not stock.
I see, I knew that.
Yeah. What have you done?
Well, it's got Olin's, it's got all the adjustable
All the suspension.
pins on it for,
Have you tweaked power?
track, and then she's got a few other things in there.
Few other things. Okay, he's keeping quiet on the few other things. But, well, I owned that car. Not that car, but I owned a 718 Cayman S. And as great as a daily as it was, I loved using it as a daily. Whenever I got on it, there wasn't soul for me. But it sounds like you've tweaked it to make it yours and get the maximum out of it. But I would disagree with you. I think the 4 litre is a much more soulful engine. And
Yeah,
a
it's more
soulful car.
soulful, but don't forget they made that car to try and get customers from other brands, mate. So they made it less dialed in and less enthusiast for the mass. So that's why they put the 2.5 in it, essentially. So as a road car to drive down the road and live with, because it's turbocharged, you ain't got to rev the nuts out of it, it's actually a better car to drive on the road. That's what I'm trying to say.
Like the 4-cylinder F-Type, which is the most popular F-Type that they sell in
the UK, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
no, interesting insight.
It's the correct insight.
Now, this is what we were maybe hoping or expecting to see a lot of today, and we're going to get into the fact that there's a lot of European cars compared to American cars. But someone has come in, I don't know the year, but
I know who it is.
You know who it is?
I met him in the
60s
toilet.
Camaro SS. Oh,
Yes.
you, sir? Oh, my God. Now, I love this. This is just everything that I think of when I think of American car scene and Americana, and it's one of the coolest shapes. So what year is the car?
1968.
1968. It looks immaculate. Have you restored it? Did you buy it restored?
So, aesthetically, it was restored, and then I did mechanically.
You did the mechanical side. I mean, it looks amazing. And help me out with so the SS is the top level you could get back then.
Yeah, but this is no longer an SS by any means.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like a beast monster.
Yeah, it's got 620 horsepower.
Oh my God.
It makes 610 pound-feet of torque at 1800 RPM. It's pretty crazy.
Does the front wheels lift up when you accelerate?
It does not.
How do you get away from a traffic light?
Sideways.
That's unbelievable. I want to hear that start up when we leave. Is that okay? That is
Well, you'll
so
hear it from
cool.
here.
Yeah, actually,
You
we'll
won't
stay
have to-
here.
yeah, we'll just stay here.
And he'll come out sideways to the car park there and goes, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Even I actually really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you may have been nervous maybe coming in.
He was nervous. I met him in the toilet. And he said, please don't be horrible.
All right,
about
what were you
my
doing in the
car."
toilet together?
Go in the toilet, obviously.
Very, very nice. Yeah, really, really cool. I'm super glad you bought it. It's amazing. We'll come and have a sniff around after the show. Next to that, wow. 355 Spider, blue with tan. Congratulations. What a beautiful car. Out here, that must be amazing to drive around.
It really is amazing, yeah.
How long have you had the car?
About 8 months.
About 8 months. And what were you driving before?
My fun car
Fun car.
was a 65 Corvette Stingray.
65 Corvette Stingray. Nice. Okay, so you're into an older car. Yeah, we'd get on. Let's have a coffee afterwards. That's a beautiful spec. I didn't look inside. Is it the manual or the auto box?
It is the F1, yeah.
The F1. Okay, fine. And it's livable with? You can...
Oh, I actually really, really love it. And it's been amazing learning how to drive it.
Sure. 'Cause
Send it an email to change gear, that sort of thing.
No, but that's the thing. You just figure out how to drive those F1 boxes. They are crap, but you just have to suss it out, and then it can be part of the character and the personality of the car.
Sound good though, 355.
Sound
The
great.
355 is one of the best sounding Ferraris.
What were you about to say? I actually.
No,
Okay.
no,
thought you
no,
could have a dig about
no, I'm not going to say I actually like it.
No, I thought you were going to say it sounds better than the 360.
Well, it does.
No, it doesn't. It's a really beautiful car. So, yeah, thank you so much for bringing that. Very cool. And right next to it, an amazing car. Actually, I assumed it was a 240i, but I don't know if it is the 40i. It's the purple 2 Series. That's you here. Is it the 40i or is it the 30? A beautiful color, though.
Very good.
And it's that shape, that new shape 2 Series, Tony's been banging on about
It's
and
a
loves.
great car. Yeah, yeah.
You must be very happy with it, yeah? And very nice inside, all the tech and equipment, super usable. Is that Merlin purple? What's the color of the purple? You churroed, okay. Yeah.
Cool car though.
Very cool car.
Yeah.
You've chosen well. Another silver Cayman, first gen Cayman, up at the back there, amazing. That's super nice.
Yeah.
There was that's not a Cayman R, that's just a Cayman S. Base Cayman, very engaging. We're gonna, you and the Miata guys. Yeah. Sorry?
Less than half the cost.
Less than half the cost. The Cayman? No way. How much did you pay for that? 17K. That's a car and a
Well, it's
half.
not less than half the cost with the man in the green top.
How much?
How much was your one?
It was about 9.
About 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done well.
So it's double the cost.
Very, very cool car. Very, very nice car. The big old Bronco. Please tell me that
Please
was
tell
someone
us
here.
that was one of us.
Yes, you legends. So Tony has become obsessed with American trucks. It's
Yes.
actually annoying.
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes, he goes, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Like everywhere we go. And the one you fall in love with the most is
The Bronco.
the Bronco.
Yeah.
Old and new. He just loves them.
Love
all of them. And this one is stunning. Firstly, green, big old wheels. Did you buy this as is? Have you worked on
I
it?
bought it as is.
You bought it as
It's
is.
modified. It's actually my wife's car.
It's your wife's car.
Yeah,
She's
loves
not here?
She loves old trucks.
She loves old trucks. I mean, it's unbelievably cool. And with the soft roof, in the summer you must just bomb around in it.
What do you mean in the summer? It's LA. It doesn't rain here.
Yeah, but we've been a bit chilly this week, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cold, wasn't it? We came here, he bought shorts. I was like, what are you on about?
Well, I wore shorts.
You did wear shorts, you're
Yeah.
so British. But yeah, that's a really cool bit. And it's got like a big V8 under the...
It's got a, yeah.
Yeah. Big shouty V8, huh?
5.0 Mustang V8.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine if he said, no, it's got 2 litre EcoBoost in it?
That would have ruined it for you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for bringing it. Now, a big hitter came. There's an F12 TDF here, boys and girls.
Flipping hell.
Flipping X.
We know whose car that is.
It's actually quite unbelievable. Did you know, where are you? Yeah. Did you know that's nearly identical spec to the legend that is Hugh Grant? Did you know that?
Yeah.
V12 there you go, he knows it very well. See, TDF owners, they all know each other. But yeah, this is a silver with the blue stripe
It's the
TDF.
worst spec TDF I've ever seen.
What are you on about? What's the spec of your TDF?
I haven't got one, but I can have one, but I wouldn't have one. I'd have a dark colour.
Would you? I love this. I think the silver works with the silver wheels as well. It's beautiful. And what's the dark blue of the stripe? Nart blue. That's like your one of your pistas, one of your
the
18
Spider, yeah.
pistas. Yeah. What are you on about? You don't like
No, I'd have a dark colour, mate. They saw you coming when you bought that car, mate.
What do you mean? I think Tony's just being mean for the sake of it.
I think the dark colours don't show the gills on the side, so you've got to have a light colour.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd have a light colour.
No, I just think the big V12 stuff, like that new Purasang thing, I think they all need to be dark colours. The big Ferraris, I personally think, I don't think they look nice in red either. They look okay in yellow, but in general, I think they look better as dark colour. The grey and the black are the best. Maybe the grey, the dark grey.
Hands up. Would you have your TDF in a dark colour?
Yeah, but in the UK they would.
Hands up. Would you have your TDF in a
boy.
light colour? Yeah, Tony, you're completely wrong. Thank you, everyone. Moving on to the next 4C. Yellow 4C. It's this 4C Spider. Yellow 4C Spider. No one brave enough to claim? Oh, at the back there, sir, with some decals and some orange at the bottom of the bumper. What was the inspiration behind that?
Run out of paint.
Shh. Sorry?
My uncle spec'd it.
Your uncle spec'd it. That's paint? That's like an optional paint at the bottom? Wow. I've never seen that. The yellow and the orange is bold. It's a strong choice, huh? Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's full on, but you know, each to their own. Anyway, moving on. Thank you for coming. 991.1 GT3 blue. I think it's a very dark blue. Is that a dark blue?
Yes, dark blue metallic.
Dark blue metallic. It's a super nice car.
Yeah.
You get a bit weird about the 0.1 GT3s, but no, fantastic. And out here in the canyons and on the good roads, that must be amazing, huh?
Don't get weird about them, it's the engines in them.
Yeah, you always say this.
Yeah.
Sometimes they catch fire.
Yeah, no, they just blow up.
They just blow up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's better than,
Has it got an F or a G engine in it? You don't know.
No, nor do I, mate. He says these things, I'm like, I haven't got a clue.
Yeah. It's a problem in the UK, so they changed all the engines, that's all.
2014 car?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next to it, a really nice Civic Type R with some awesome white wheels. Right next to you. Super cool. I love those wheels. That really transforms the look of that car. They must. We've seen a few of the new ones cruising around this week. I think they're at the auto show, which I have to say, like, I'm not convinced by that rear wing on the new one. But this, I mean, that's a great looking car, huh?
They're popular over here, them Civic Type R's, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them.
It's a proper driver's car.
Yeah.
Though, huh? Like.
Yeah, a lot of JDM love.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get into the JDM thing. Do you want to pass the coffees over? They're just on your right there. That'd be quite nice.
Oh, now?
Yeah, just go grab the coffees. And then, well, actually, I'll wait for Tony to bring the coffees over, which we need quite a lot before we talk about the final car, because I think I need Tony to discuss what was a late arrival. Thank you so much, Tony. I'll put that here, right next to my laptop. That seems very, very precarious. Well, don't you spill it. I don't trust you entirely. Are you now going to mix in your sugar? We're doing a live podcast. I meant to get it so you could sip on it whilst we're talking.
So sorry.
He does this everywhere. I've been taking to them all these cool, trendy coffee shops, and he spends half an hour mixing in the sugar. Is this new, this place? When did you open it? How long have you been here? I just want the coffee and get out. Now, should we talk about this?
Oh,
So, there's only a bloody 360 Challenge Stradale here. Who bought the Stradale? Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for coming. I love you. I actually am in love with you. I want to ask, why is the rear engine cover open?
To let the heat out.
Let the heat out, yeah. So we got a tip off that you'd arrived, and I ran over, freaking out, came around the corner, and he nearly died with laughter because it did look like maybe you'd broken down. And he went, "Why has he come from Kota?" Straight on track, but you're just letting the heat escape, right? Just protecting the engine bay.
But is that normal? Do you always do that?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Because,
But
the rear
more of a
window is not glass, it's plexiglass. So when heat stays there, it
morphs the top of the...
It makes the plexiglass a little yellow.
Yeah, okay.
So you're doing it for a precaution more than the car's overheated?
It's keeping the car in good shape is what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's not because the car was overheating like you thought.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, you're just doing it for a precaution. Yeah.
To cool it off faster.
Okay, then I really like it.
Yeah, because he's a proper guy and he wants to look after his car.
Yeah.
I love it. It's beautiful spec, absolutely glorious. With that red interior as well. It's still the best. Are there a few of them here? Do you see a few knocking around? Stradales? Car meets and stuff? Would you see other... There are a few knocking around, yeah. Oh, it's super cool. Unbelievable. Thank you for coming. You've made my day. And when I said earlier that what did I say was the second best car here? Well, the Carrera T, that's the first best car. So thank you for bringing it. But it's a kind of perfect segue into one topic that we wanted to discuss, which was the fact that up until really today, most of the time on the road, we've seen American and Japanese cars.
Yeah.
And actually for the first 2 days, Tony was actually kicking off, being like, where's all the Euro stuff?
Yeah.
And we had met with a few local people and we've been chatting, and a lot of people said in the enthusiast community, there's a lot of Euro stuff, but mass public, it's all still American and JDM.
Yeah.
And obviously in the car park today, most of you are coming in European cars. There's obviously a few Japanese stuff here, but so why is it that you're not hearing American stuff? So American stuff is cheaper, right? We're getting nods that theoretically cheaper, or maybe not so much anymore, but it's just not as good. Like, what draws you to it's just not as good? I'm getting a big thumbs up at the front. Because we actually have rented off Churro a C8 Corvette and a Shelby GT500 this week.
Crap!
To try and give us an experience in some American sport cars. I put a poll out a few weeks ago. I really wanted to drive the ATS and CTS Vs, the new Cadillacs, which I think are the M3, M5 rivals. They looked super cool, but basically no one cared on the poll. So we tried to get hold of a Hellcat, but I thought that'd be funny for about 30 minutes and then we just die. So we ended up in the GT500 and the Corvette. Talk to me about your feelings before we actually got in them. As in, like, when I told you that's what we were going to rent, you were excited, right?
I was really excited because we get Mustang in the UK, and I know the Corvette has come over to our country now, but I've not driven one. And I think they look good, the Corvette, but we don't get the Shelby 500 in our country.
Yeah, we only get a V8 Mustang. We don't get any of the Shelby
V8,
stuff.
which we sell a few of them. So I was excited to get in them. And because you're in America, like if you're in America on holiday, like you rent an American car, right? Like it would be boring for us to go and rent Porsches because we've been in all of them, we've driven all of them. So let's do something different.
And what were your expectations? How did you think they would drive?
Well, I already probably knew in my head they weren't going to be as good as a European car. I just wanted to see the difference between them because people have banged on over the years about that they have closed the gap and they are better than they used to be because they used to be really bad apparently. So yeah, I was just intrigued to see what the difference was.
Yeah, I think I was exactly the same. So I had driven a few Shelbys over the years on my previous visits to America, so I kind of felt like I knew what to expect, and I've driven a lot of the Dodges, the Charger, the Challenger in various forms, so I kind of knew what was coming there. But with the Corvette, I personally was super excited. I thought, I was never a big fan of the previous generation Corvette, but I thought, they've gone mid-engine. Everyone online, right, like all the car YouTubers in America were like, Corvette, like everyone got them, everyone modified them. There seemed to be a lot of hype, so I was thinking this is going to be mega. I'm not a huge fan of the looks, I got to be honest. Like, I don't love the design of that new Corvette, and especially that dodgy little rear wing that some of them get. Like, I don't know, But then we picked these cars up, and I drove the Corvette first because I thought it'd be funnier to put them in the Shelby. And I have to admit, I was instantly disappointed.
He was fuming.
Fuming. I thought interior was crap, interior quality was crap. I thought feeling was numb as hell. I thought the power felt a bit slow. I was just like, what is this car? It's gone from the old shape, which is kind of a bit silly and shouty, and what I think I want from an American car, which is big front engine, rear wheel drive, overpowered, snarly thing, to then suddenly just a bit of a dull Euro wannabe. Hands up if you're a fan of that new C8 Corvette. People were nervously like, I'm not sure, I'll put my hand up. So is it popular? Do you think that car has been well received? Yeah, so people are nodding. So why is it, you don't like it because it's just not as good as a Cayman or a 911 or S3? Like, what would stop you from buying it? Has anyone got any reasons in the back there?
It's a car for an older guy.
It's a car for an older guy. I'm getting a few nods from that. Okay, and just behind?
I like the Z6 more than the standard version.
The fruity one. The fruity one will be better than Z06.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one. You actually bonded with the C8 a little bit better.
Well, your initial words getting out of that C8 was, I hate it, mate. I'm not driving that car. So I said, well, I'll have a swap round with you because I hadn't driven the Mustang in the canyons up until that point. But we've driven it round here, and it's a big, loud, shouty car, and I don't know whether ours has got an exhaust on it or they are just really that loud, because it was definitely loud. I was behind you, and you said to me it was all you could hear.
I could hear him when he was behind me.
Behind.
It was that loud.
It's a big, and it isn't normally a bit of me, big, shouty front engine cars in general. So I thought, well, the layout of the Corvette is more me, so I'll have a go in the Corvette. And yeah, it's soulless, mate. It's completely soulless. But then when we went up in the canyons and you drive it at 10 temps, I then got it. You've literally just got to wring its neck to get any sort of pleasure out of it at all. And there's European cars like that nowadays, now, you know, where you got to absolutely wring their neck. For the McLaren are a little bit like that, you know, where you absolutely got to wring their neck.
I think a McLaren feels more special in general than a Corvette.
Well, no. But when you compare supercar to supercar, what I'm saying is a Lamborghini and a Ferrari, you drive at 25 mile an hour and you get pleasure. So when you put price point in and you're comparing it to a supercar, the McLaren, you got to wring its neck to get any pleasure compared to the Lamborghini and the Ferrari. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I will agree with you on that.
Yeah. So the Mustang is 30 mile an hour, it makes you laugh because it's just stupid. But the cool, it's just ridiculous. It's probably a bit like your car.
We both nearly died in it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quieter, yeah. I really want to hear that car.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we went up to do a little bit of Angeles Crest just to, one morning just to kind of check out the cars, and we literally both nearly went off the side in the Mustang, which was great. But the Corvette just dials it back too much for me, and then yeah, you're right, you have to really crack on. But what do we compare Corvette with? Because I think price-wise, okay, the one that we're driving is $76,000 or something like that, but obviously it starts around 660 odd. Yeah, and the Mustang. Yeah. But the Corvette, do you see it as a 911 rival or as a Cayman rival? Hands up for a 911 rival. At the front, hands up for a Cayman rival. Okay, so what is it rivaling? Where does it sit? Like if you're thinking of buying a Corvette, what else are you thinking of buying?
M4.
An M4. Okay, getting a few more nods there. C63s and things like that.
Another top spec Corvette or base 911?
Top spec Corvette or base 911. Yeah, I mean, I'm going 911 every day of the week. I mean, I say we've been banging about Porsches all morning, but I don't know. It left me cold and left me disappointed, that car. But what American cars would you consider in this room? You're a group of enthusiasts. You've turned up in mainly Euro cars. I'm sure at some point you've owned American cars.
I would honestly only probably consider like a CTSV.
CTSV is the only one you would consider, which is an M5 rival? You sort of, yeah. Hummer EV, yes. Oh my God, we went to the auto show. We're going back to the auto show this afternoon actually to do some work with them. That's one car I'm upset. I really want. Is it 2,000 horsepower or something? 1,000. I got a bit overexcited.
It's not a
It's
Corvette
got a million horsepower.
It's not a Corvette rival though, mate.
No, it's not a Corvette rival, but I was asking what American cars would people actually consider, because it seems as though everyone in this room has gone like, nah, we're all right with that, the American cars, where maybe mass public, less enthusiast community, like will be cruising around and stuff again. Yeah.
The Camaro 1LE, that's pretty good.
The 1LE, the Camaro. Is the Camaro stuff still good? Is that still a relevant product? Because I put it in my list and like no one voted for it. And in my mind, we've kind of moved on from Camaro a bit. Is that? It's as relevant as the Mustang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That's a good point. But yeah, I don't know. For us as well, you know, we're here as Brits, like out on tour. As Tony said, you want to try something a bit different. There's a few others that I would try, but the minute we got onto the canyons, we both said, oh my God, we would have loved to have been here in an M2 or GT4 or what other examples do we, even the M3, M4, like, you know, I think just dynamically they just feel a bit more plugged in.
Well, when I think about it though, I think you could probably make a decent car out the pair. if you could put the pair together.
But that was the old Corvette, right? The old front-engine Corvette was a Mustang combined with the new, like, that's
Yeah.
what I think of.
Yeah, but it's not. What I'm saying is dynamically now, it's probably better that the engine's in the back because it has got a half. It's numb, but it has got a half decent front end, and you can get on the power kick because where the engine is. You can't get on the power in the Mustang. You just fucking go over the edge.
Yeah,
I mean,
you die like we nearly did. Yeah.
you had to- it was actually really difficult keeping up with the Corvette in the Mustang when we started tramping on, and vice versa. If I was in the Corvette and you was in the Mustang, the Corvette was loads better in the corners. You know what I mean? Whereas
I guess none of you are surprised by that, though, right?
yeah, the Mustang was really fast in the straight line. You know, it's got loads of power.
Loads of power.
And the brakes are good. The steering was okay.
Gearbox was better in the Mustang.
The gearbox was better in the Mustang. When you if you braked too early in the Mustang and turned a corner, the car would just go straight. Whereas the Corvette less so. It felt more dialed in, but there was less feeling, if you know what I mean. So the brakes were definitely better on the Mustang for sure.
So let's move on to your favourite topic this week, trucks. We've already touched on it slightly.
Love 'em.
And the Bronco. Hands up if you own some form of truck in this room.
Yeah, look,
Less than I was expecting, if I'm honest. But and when I say trucks, we're talking about flatbed, like pickup trucks. What do you classify as an SUV? So what's an Escalade?
SUV.
It is an SUV. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. I was just checking. So obviously, yeah, trucks insanely popular in this country, right? And we have kind of fallen in love with them. Me, more the Dodge Rams. I think are the baddest looking ones. They just freaking look amazing. You've loved the Bronco.
No, I like all of them, mate.
You like all of them. You
Yeah,
literally do
the
everywhere we go.
F-150,
the old
the-
ones, the Super Duty,
All of
Super
them.
Duty,
Yeah.
with those 15 wheels.
I just find it very interesting that a majority of you have got European or Japanese cars, yet there was quite a few of you that said, oh yeah, but we all drive trucks every day, which is
Yeah.
an American car. So obviously the Americans are nowhere near still the European for enthusiasts. Obviously for the mass they are, but for enthusiasts, but as an everyday car, you don't really care, right? You just pound around in your trucks up and down the highway. Because
Yeah.
that's
We don't offer anything. I don't think, a BMW X5 just feels like a little mini here, right? Compared to, the size of your roads. And we've loved it. I mean, getting in the Escalade, it's kind of empowering, in those huge things. You climb up into them. You've got these massive cabins. You've got drinks holders the size to fill like 15-gallon cups. Like, and you just go, rah, and we just kill everyone. I think we ran over like 14 children this week. We didn't even notice. It's just a sort of cool experience. When the roads are this big, why not? You haven't got to go around too many corners. You can fit loads of stuff in it. I would totally do it. If I was here, I was disappointed by the Bronco. We drove a Bronco, and but I would have. What did I say I would have? I think I'd have the Escalade. I like the Escalade.
Obviously the differences as well, X5s and Mercs and that. I'm guessing they're more money than trucks to buy.
More
yeah,
expensive.
so everyone's nodding. So that's obviously a reason why. If you've got two cars, then of course why do you want to spend $100,000 on when you can spend $40,000 or $50,000 on a truck, right?
Yeah, no, it's something that we've definitely been into, and I think next time we come back, we're going to be doing some kind of F-150 versus Ram TRX, whatever it might be. That's our next venture.
We can have a towing war.
Yeah, towing war, exactly. And we've actually been planning, we got way too overexcited this week with all the things that we could do when we come back, and I think for sure next year there's going to be some big American adventures ahead. And actually, hands up if you're not from LA. I know a few of you from San Diego. Oh, wow, like none of you are from LA. But are you from the LA vicinity? Like, okay, hands up if you're not from California.
Oh, wow.
Well, still quite a few of you. Hey, well, welcome. Thank you for coming. My God. What is driving, is this the best state for driving? What is it like from where are you from? You said from Ohio? How's driving there?
It's flat.
Flat.
I-90.
Boring.
Yeah, boring. Where else do you go to drive in this country? Tennessee, good for driving? North Carolina, that's the tail of the dragon. Tail of the dragon. Wow. It's the best road. Because, that's from my memory, from Drive the World, is basically once you leave or get to Colorado, it's just flat and boring. And Tony's been asking, Tony's very used to doing big trips through Europe where you'll plan 5 or 6 days, and literally you can leave the hotel in the morning and you can drive for 7 or 8 hours on canyon roads to the next hotel. Like, you're not going out and driving canyons and going back to the same place. You're literally going from Barcelona to Madrid, and you're on canyon roads the whole way.
There's an end point. That's what I'm saying. You don't go to a dead end and come back down again. There's an actual route you can do, essentially. Hands up, all of you that have done, or any of you that have done European roads, driven European roads.
I'd say nearly half, maybe at least a third of you.
And would you all agree that European roads are better than American roads to drive?
Yeah, everyone who's has been has said.
That's what I
Cars are crap through the corners.
It's why American cars are crap, No, but this is the point. This is what I was trying to explain to Tony, because he was sort of semi getting overexcited, but also thinking about coming back and trying to plot and plan things. Said that realistically here, the best thing about LA as a driving enthusiast, from my point of view, is you can wake up, pick up a coffee, go to the canyons, do a couple of hours of great driving, come back down and crack on with your day.
Yeah.
What's quite hard to do, apart from PCH, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is a tourist scenic road rather than like a driving road. It's more about you can't go from here to Denver on amazing roads the whole way. At some point, you've got to get on the highway, or you're at least on a big straight road, right? It's too difficult to do. I've got a hand up at the back.
So we live in Vegas, and our drive all the way from here to Vegas, it's all highways.
It's just dead, right? I hate that drive. Dead birds and blown up tires. What is with the blown up tires on the way to Vegas? Check your tires, people. Like, it's mad, but you're right. Yeah, that's a very, very dead drive.
So when you go Route 1, guys, you do that traditional. I know we spoke about
PCH up to Monterey and San Francisco.
Are there roads off of there that you can go and wangle yourself and then come back on? Could you go from one end to the other and stay off Route 1 and just wangle yourself down and make a week's trip like Europe, or not really?
Not a week's trip.
Okay, fine.
A
day, okay. Because we went to Malibu briefly yesterday, and you showed me, popped me over a couple of the canyons there. But again, you'd spend a day there, right?
Most. I mean, that's a morning in Malibu, right? Like, you know,
okay, fine.
I think it would be hard to do. So it's very different here. You know, this is what's been fascinating for us to come and have a look at, especially for Tony on his first time. And you know, we're determined to be back and do more American content, more American adventures. That idiot Paul Wallace wants to get involved, but we're trying to delete him from WhatsApp. We've got some great ideas, but it's obviously going to be a very different experience. And I think obviously old Top Gear used to come and do bits and bobs, and I think any adventures that we do, we just have to think differently.
Do you all watch Top Gear here? Are you all Top Gear fans?
Everyone's a Top Gear fan.
Fair.
Yeah, not the American version.
No.
Well, so does everyone know my Top Gear story? No? Oh, this was like a whole podcast episode. I'll repeat it because it's fun to talk about, seeing as we're here in Hollywood. I'm surprised people haven't stopped me for photos. So when I was here in Vlog Angie's, they were bringing Top Gear USA back, and I got a random call from BBC America saying, "Oh, we've found your channel, and we'd love you to come in and audition or be part of the
You
the
went
process."
in, didn't you?
So it was like over 3 months. I went for the first day. We went to Willow Springs, and there was loads of traditional journalists that you guys will know from. Well, I can't tell you who any of them are now. I've forgotten all
really famous ones.
Really
clearly.
famous. But a lot of your real traditional big automotive journalists were there, and a few like weird random celebs. And we had to do this day where I drove a GT350 around Willow Springs, and you had to sort of talk about it. And then we did the traditional Top Gear thing where they brought in a Miata, and somebody's like Nissan, and one guy had to like the Miata, one guy had to like the Nissan. You had to have a fake argument, and they saw whose chemistry was the best. And it was like a real killer for any Top Gear fan. I was like, oh, so it's all just acting, like it's all just script work. I was like, Clarkson and Hammond, like it was really pulled back the veil. And anyway, after that, I got called back to another thing, and we had one of the actors from Prison Break, who was like the agent, the FBI agent. He was there, who I think ended up being on the disastrous Top Gear USA. We had from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was there. The guy who does the drag strip racing, he's like the biggest drag strip, like Top Fuel guy. I don't know. We had one of the guys from Hooligan. Anyway, so it was a mad experience, and long story short, it didn't work out, but thank God, because I think that was a disaster. And it's now back with Dax Shepard and Jethro Bovingdon does it here.
Oh, does it?
But it's not great, is it? The new Top Gear, still not? No.
You all still prefer the UK, the Clarkson, Hammond and
What about the
right?
new one? Have you been watching the new UK with Chris Harris and Freddie? No. Yes and no.
Do you like that one?
If you watch it, you like it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And what about Grand Tour? Do you all watch that? Yeah?
Yeah, cool. And what was that? Grand Tour's kind of gone downhill, yeah. Well, anyway, we're here to replace it. So we'll be back to do plenty more adventures. Anyway, we traditionally tend to open up the last 10 minutes of our live events for random questions. Now, what tends to happen is that everyone heckles us during the show, and then when we ask for Q&A, everyone goes very quiet. But hopefully some of you will have questions. We will take any. We don't mind. We can ask about Tony's watch and whether he's been held up at gunpoint this week or not. We can talk about cars, talk about LA. So if you have a question, we would love to hear them. Shout them loud and clear, but if you can put your hands up, we'll go start at the back.
Alright, I have a big question for you guys, alright? Sometimes you guys can talk about cars before even try driving it or comparing cars from different segments. For example, the new GT3 RS, right? It's not for everybody. It's for people that like to go and check. For example, like Nürburgring. I think that's the customer base they're catering to, right? Sometimes I think you guys compare, for example, you guys say it's too rough for the roads, but that's not what it's really for, right? So my question for you is, why do you guys kind of not compare the cars to what it's actually for instead of, a different basis?
You want to go?
Yeah,
I feel like
I mean,
just to clarify, sorry for the listeners, the question was, why do we sometimes make judgments on cars either before we've driven them or we don't compare them to, or for what they're actually used for? We'll say a GT3 RS is too hard for the road.
Yeah, because the reason why we come to the analysis that the new GT3 RS too hard for the road, because the old one was, and this is more. And I had the old car for 2 years and drove it on the road and drove it on track. So that was my initial analysis, although I've not driven it yet. The problem is, mate, is that you have to compare it as a road car because it's got number plates. It is a road car. Despite what Porsche is saying, it's like a cup car. It's nothing like a cup car. If you track on track, they keep going on about the downforce. It's got 800 pounds worth of downforce at 170 mile an hour. Well, that ain't happening on the road anyway. That'll only happen on track. And only if you can drive. Most people won't get anywhere near them speeds. They won't get to the capability of the cars. And if you go cup car and GT3 RS round, say, Silverstone in the UK, you all know Silverstone, right? The GT3 RS will be miles off the cup car. Might be 7, 8, 9 seconds a lap slower. So you have to compare it as a road car because that's what it is. It is a road car for the track, basically. Whereas the GT3 is sorry, I've got this wrong. It's a track car for the road, the RS, and the GT3 is a road car that you can use on a track. So that's how separate them.
I was trying to Google lap times because I would love to have proved Tony wrong there.
Well,
and be there's only 1 second difference, But
there won't be.
But I think, I will second what you said. That I think, firstly, this podcast. I mean, we say it in the intro. We're uninformed enthusiasts. Fundamentally, these are our opinions based on our experiences and what we've driven, what we've been around, and also we're over opinionated. So we're going to sit here and say, oh, that car's a load of crap, or that car's not for us, and that's definitely where we're sitting. I think if we were journalists, and there are definitely, Matt Farah's great at this on The Smoking Tire, gives really descriptive and informed views and descriptive sort of stats and things like that on cars where that's just not us. The conversations that we have go, your car's crap, mate, my car's... So I get it that sometimes we could probably give cars a bit more of a break. But usually it's just what we like, what we've experienced and how we see the car. But I'm determined for viewers and listeners to find that stat at some point. GT3 RS versus... What is it, 911 RSR? Is that what it is? It's a GT3 Cup car.
A GT3 Cup car.
There's got to be a stat out there somewhere.
We'll do Silverstone GP in about 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Roughly. That'll be a quali lap, roughly. It'd be around then. 2 minutes-ish, maybe, the 992 Cup car.
GT3 Cup.
A 3RS, the new one, will probably be like 208. So we're like 6 or 8 seconds different. A lap.
But you have just guessed that.
Well, I won't be far off, mate.
You never are.
No.
Okay, well, we'll pick that up next week. But anyway, very good question. Thank you very much. At the back there.
So we're going into this era of electrification, and I think the last 5 years or 10 years have been great for petrol-driven cars or gas-driven cars. If you guys could choose a car from the last 5 years, from Porsche and Ferrari, which cars would they be?
So the best Porsche and Ferrari, or the Porsche Ferrari we want the most from the last 5 or 10 years.
Fair.
You go.
Well, your car's in there
TDF.
for sure. For me, I would just go Pista because it's the love affair I have with that car and what I've done with it over the last couple of years. So that's my Ferrari one. But your car would definitely be in with a shout for sure. Porsche. Last 5 years, probably 2RS. I'd go 2RS.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I'd probably swap the 2RS for a 911 Speedster. From my side, I loved that car. And TDF, yes, probably, but I also love the new 296 GTB. I do think the 296, I don't love the way it looks, but to drive and as a car and as an all-rounder, I think it's pretty
I haven't driven that enough
exceptional,
yet. I've only done 10 minutes in that car.
Yeah, I think it's pretty exceptional.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. You know, we're quick to say, oh, everything's getting bland, but the engineering that's going on right now is fairly fantastic and fairly incredible. So, for sure, in 20 years' time, if we can still drive these cars, if we're allowed to, they will be viewed as classics. They will be sought after for sure. Question just here, man in the cap.
What makes you like the 911 Speedster? Because that's honestly one of my favorite cars.
We share a love for the 911 Speedster. Good man. I loved the Speedster because what's a GT3 without a roof? Like, you know, let's face it, if you can take the roof off most cars, it enhances the driving experience. You know, firstly, if you're cruising, you can take in the smells and the sounds and the gunshots that are around you if you're driving here in LA. So it's far more, you know, visceral in that side of things. But then you've got the soundtrack of that beautiful GT3 engine. It's kind of harking back to an older era of Porsche, which was obviously, you know, it started off with the Speedster. I like the looks, the lines, and I also like that not everyone loves it. You know, Tony will tell you, be the first to tell you, I like cars that no one else likes. But I like the fact that it's kind of been somewhat overlooked in comparison to things like a GT2 RS, a 911R or whatever. And Speedsters are often like that. So, it's a personal love affair that we share. So let's save up some money. We'll go buy one.
The Speedster in this country makes absolutely perfect sense because in our country not so much, but it doesn't rain here, you know, and because it's got the roof off and it's a manual gearbox, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit floppy compared to a full-on GT car. You want a PDK so you can get the most out of the car essentially, but the Speedster, it doesn't matter. It's a bit more dialed back because, like in this weather, and as well,
Glorious.
did you get the OPF filters on them, or you don't?
They don't have OPF filters here.
So they're nice and so in our country, I know it still sounds good, but it's a bit distorted compared to over here. So that's a mega car for over here.
You do get OPF.
Oh, you do.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But everything sounds better here.
Engine is the 992 GT3 engine with the OPF.
Right.
So hold on a sec, but the Escalade being an American car sold in America doesn't get OPF. Fine.
Got ya.
Okay, that makes
Right.
sense. Just next to you, yes.
All right, mate. So I just want to know, it's not a hard question, but you're going to support England in the World Cup.
Oh, we're going to support England in the World Cup. No, I'm supporting Jamaica. Are they playing? Are they playing? I mean, I'm not a football fan. I mean, he's the guy to ask.
I mean, I will. I'm a big football fan. I will, but I secretly want Argentina to win the World Cup.
That's controversial.
Yeah. If England don't... No. Obviously, I'd want England to win the World Cup. I don't think they've got a chance. I think if they get to the semis, they've hit the jackpot. But I think quarters, they'll go out quarters. But I think Argentina have got more of a chance. I have a huge love affair with Messi, and he plays for Argentina. It's his last World Cup, and I'd like him to win the World Cup. So... No. I'm a Premier League fan, and I think
He's a glory supporter, basically. Yeah.
Well, that's not. I mean, he knows nothing about football. So, Spurs, Tottenham. So I'm clearly not a glory.
Okay, this is
supporter.
not we've gone off topic here. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's come back to cars. Come on. Yes, this is the front here. Last couple of questions. This is the front here.
What are your guys' thoughts on the new hypercar generation? Do you think they're getting more like a P1 and Valkyrie? Do you think they're getting more race car and not more road car?
Our thoughts on hypercars can probably be answered in about 3 seconds.
On hypercars.
Yeah.
It's willy waving. Mate.
Willy waving is what he calls it. I mean, every week there's a 2,500 horsepower, 4 million, you know, and there's every iteration. You've got the Gordon Murray thing, which is on pure driving experience. Then
Not
you have
interested.
Valkyries that don't seem to actually work once they get customer delivered. Like, it's all great in theory. I would just still have a Bugatti. I mean, I would just have a Bugatti because it's just the ultimate and it works and it's beautiful and it's crafted and leave it at that personally. Yeah. It will be interesting to see what the next generation of Ferrari hypercar, Porsche hypercar, that will be interesting. But all these sub companies, I don't think it does a lot for us.
No, nothing.
Okay, last 2 questions. Just here on the right.
Talking about people before draft cars, is there ever a car that you expect to be terrible and then you actually finally drove it?
Opinionated about cars, is there a car that we expected to be terrible and then liked? Yes, definitely. I can name a couple. Any from your side, Tony?
I'm thinking.
Think of a red one with tan interior. From my side, the Mustang. The Mustang, I thought it would be a lot worse than it is. The GT500 that we've been driving. More recently than that, or Euro cars. When I got that M240i that you've been banging on about, I didn't think it'd be that special, but that was really, really good. Just quickly, EQS AMG. The electric AMG EQS 53, I thought I'm not going to like this. I was secretly borrowing it to just slag it off and ruin it. And then I was like, oh, it's really good. That's a good example. Red paint, tan interior, manual gear.
No.
You thought it was going to be crap, was amazing.
It is crap.
No.
Terrible, mate. I thought I was going to die in a minute. Full on. I don't know, mate. It's pretty hard for me because I don't really have any real expectations when I get in a car anyway. Like, I always think everything's crap, and then you've got to convince me that it's really good. So that's quite a hard question for me to answer because I have a pretty high bar of what I expect from a car. So I can't really think of any at the moment.
The
GR Yaris.
That's
That is a good one. Yeah,
shout.
because I poo-hooed that car a little bit, and it's actually really very good. So yeah, that'll be up there.
done.
Yeah. Well
Okay,
done, Rob.
final question. I'm going to go at the back with the glasses. We made eye contact first. Go on.
What do you think of the Max and Checo situation from last week? Do you think Hamilton is going to win next year, and what is after the checker flag coming back?
Okay, bit of F1 chat. This is good, actually. So after the checkered flag, you are going to find out in about a week. It is coming back, obviously, with the end of the season now. It's coming back properly in 2023. Paul and I have been working really hard behind the scenes on it, so it's going to look and feel very different. We will be announcing all the plans for it, what's going to be happening, why it's been away, all that kind of stuff very soon. So once we get back to the UK, Paul and I are actually recording an episode on Tuesday. So yes, after the checkered flag, soon to return. For those of you listening, just to really blow your minds, we've recorded this just before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, so quite a long time ago. But yeah, Perez and Verstappen, Brazilian Grand Prix, the whole please let Checo back through, Max going, no, you can't tell me what to do. Was anyone really surprised that Max is a prick? No one was that surprised. It was just a bit like, oh, you're a douchebag. But every big ruthless champion is,
They all are, mate.
Hamilton's been amazing in the last 5 years at being the holier than thou. I'm so, I'm a gentleman and please, Sir Bottas. But he was a dickhead before that as well. There was a long time where he was badly behaved, and so it didn't surprise me. Yes, it's disappointing, and you would think that would make Perez be like, well, why am I going to help him next year? But at the start of the year, apparently, Perez was very much out for himself. When he had half a chance against Max and he was winning races and right in there in the championship, supposedly he crashed at Monaco on purpose to keep his foot in, and that's why Max was like, well, Sergio's out for himself, why should I help him? The interesting one, I think, is this supposed placement of Ricciardo as the third driver, which Helmut Marko and Christian Horner have been talking about today. I think if that happens, that to Perez, I think is quite worrying, because that suggests to me that Red Bull are like, well, you better still toe that party line, mate. If you're going to start acting out, we've got someone that can easily slip in there.
Yeah.
Do we think Lewis will win next year?
Well,
a race or the championship? Do you think he'll win a race or a championship? The championship.
Lewis, if he's got the car, you've got to have the car in Formula One, and history suggests that. All the great racing drivers, you've got to give them the equipment, you've got to have the car. So they make the difference at the end, obviously, and over the course of a year. If he's got the car, he's 7-time world champion. Of course he'll win, but there's still a big gap for Mercedes to. Everyone got excited last week because they were right on it and they were quickest, but today at Abu Dhabi, they're miles off. So the car's still not fast enough, and they've still got a big gap to make up for Red Bull and Ferrari.
What's going to happen now is they're going to win tomorrow, and this will look really outdated.
Only if they crash.
Okay, hands up. I'll leave this on a slightly controversial note and tease the return of after checkered flag. if Mercedes are quick enough to win a championship next year, do you think Hamilton will beat Russell? Hands up if you think Hamilton will beat Russell. I would say that's about half the room. So just to see visually, if you think Russell will beat Hamilton, hand up. Okay, maybe it was more. I think it's 2/3 of the room say Hamilton.
Yeah.
That's my question. Because let's face it, I'm the biggest Hamilton fan, 7-time world champion. You would expect over a season with a competitive car, he's going to beat Russell. Heck, he beat Alonso in his rookie season, or tied with Alonso. But at some point, the next generation have got to come through, right? If Russell is not the next Hamilton, if he's not quicker in qualifying, if he's not quick on the track, what does that say about Formula One? It's like tennis, with Federer coming back at 50, being like, let's go win Wimbledon. Like, we've got to move on at some point. And I think if Russell gets beaten, it's a bit depressing for the sport. So
he's out-qualified in this year.
He's out-qualified and he's beaten in the championship. Hamilton's out-qualified Russell, but Russell's beaten in the championship.
Yeah.
We're going to have to leave it off there. That is the end of our podcast. It's been an amazing morning. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you hugely to Myers Manx Cafe for hosting us. I really encourage you all to get the breakfast burrito with us outside in 5 minutes' time, and then we'll be back out to listen to that Camaro start up. But give yourself a round of applause. Thank you so much for coming. We hope to see you all again soon.